Okay, now I want to work with you, talk about handstand push-ups. So some fit as fuck tips. Excuse me, I'm just going to go get some chalk on my hands. Not that you need chalk for handstand push-ups, okay, I promise you. But so handstand push-up, I've had a huge journey with it. So hopefully what I've learnt you can use. So firstly, what I'd like to show you is the hand position. So what you'll see is a lot of people have got their hands facing towards the wall, even almost turned in. So you've got that handprint there. What I'd like to see is hands turned out so the thumbs are facing directly to the wall. Yeah? The next thing that you need to look at doing is, if my head is here, hands here, hands here. Right. So what you've got there, if you can see, is a tripod. A lot of people have their head here, hands here, so you're in one straight line. But what you need to do to be efficient and strong through that movement is have the hands that position, so thumb facing the wall, and a tripod base. Okay, so that's the base of your support that you're looking for. I'm just going to try and set this up now. And let's have a look at some handstand push-ups generally. So firstly, if you are able to do handstand push-ups, so you're looking at not fingers turned in, but I want those fingers turned out, thumbs facing the wall. So firstly, a kick up. So fingers are out, thumbs facing the wall, dropping down. So this is a just your basic to the floor handstand kipping push-up. First one for the day, horrendous. So with to the floor, generally you're not looking for an enormous kip, so not down here. I see a lot of people kipping with their feet together, but imagine you're doing a squat with your feet. So you're looking for that width with that kip. But it doesn't have to be big. Right? So most of the weight is in the heels of the hand, but the fingertips are spread, so you're getting that great support, but the drive is actually coming off the heels, not off the fingers. So fingers are turned. Now if your breathing is the other thing, okay? So if you're doing a lot of reps in a workout, so under load you've got air in the lungs. So anytime you're lifting, anytime you're under load, you want torso full of air, so there's no compression of that midsection, so you can load and generate force. So if you are okay with your kipping handstand push-up, next level would be, say, a deficit kipping handstand push-up. Now if you haven't got the deficit, like grab plate, actually let's take it one step back. So if you haven't quite got the kipping and you need to add some elevation, great, cool. Start with the ab mat, get your tripod, so head closer to the wall, hands creating the base of that triangle. So use your ab mat, cool. Great. But then what I want you to do is, if you're going to need to build that elevation, I don't want extra ab mats. It just creates like you're trying to do handstand push-ups on a rocking horse, right? So start putting the plates underneath it with an ab mat. So now you've got a really nice base to do these handstand push-ups. It's easy. And each rep, as you come down, see a lot of people not doing this, is let your bottom come to the wall. So you're almost levering off your bottom as you kip out of the bottom of that handstand. So if you want to start building strength through the shoulders, and in the beginning I couldn't do, well, first I couldn't do handstand push-up, but then I couldn't do strict. I just didn't have the strength. So what I recommend you do is start building that shoulder strength is working your negatives. So I'm just going to work negative to a deficit. You can begin by working to the floor, but if you're able to control the negative, which is the lowering down portion, then start to add some deficit to it. So kicking up, control the lower down, lower down, lower down, lower down, come off the wall, kick up, and you really want to control this lowering, especially in this portion right before you touch the ground. So if you've got that and you feel like you can control it, then add some more deficit and start to build your strict strength through those negatives, and that will help you to build overall shoulder strength for firstly strict and then strict deficit, even for your kipping and kipping deficit handstand push-ups. So the greater the deficit, of course, the greater that kip needs to be. So if I was to add a few more plates, this isn't the greatest deficit for me these days, but for example, this kip becomes bigger and bigger the greater the deficit. So kicking up, lowering down. But if this was another 2 plates, my knees would be down here. Driving into the palms of the hand. Inhale. And really drive those legs up. Wide stance, not a narrow kip with the feet position. And funnily enough, for those of you who can take it to another level, the greater the deficit you're working, the less wide you can afford to be. So if I was doing handstand push-ups on the ground, I'm going to be about this wide, which is fine with this deficit. But if I was just to bring my hands in a little narrower, you can see, I can certainly feel it, that I am much stronger driving. And it's a bit like imagining a heavy push press. You're a lot weaker through this position than you will be through this one. So even if you want to grab a bar and just practice, well, what does a push press feel like that versus closer in. So yeah, as you build up that deficit, certainly what I found is hands come in and really drive into the palms of the hands. And be patient, like handstand push-ups are fun. I've spent so many hours in dark corners doing way too many handstand push-ups, and I just learned, oh, a little bit more of that, not so much of that. You know, and then slowly working all of the variations. But you'd be surprised just if you are going to build up to, you know, a deficit handstand push-up or a 1RM, just build up, build up, build up. You just got to prime the nervous system as well, and you'll feel when you get the kip right. You'll feel when you miss your timing, and it's all an arm push. And it feels fantastic when you do get it right, and it is a matter of building strength. A bit like your squat, you need to build that shoulder strength as well, the glute strength, the leg strength, same for your shoulders, overhead, and handstand push-up work. All right, then my FAF tips. Remember the breathing, hand position, fingers turned out, that kip, really drive it, keep the legs a bit wider, like you're in a squat stance for the kip, and play, have fun.